Do you ever go by Katie?
No, never.
You hate it?
Nobody's ever tried. They called me.
Did.
Yeah, I'm like
the first ever. Seriously,
seriously, the first ever. When I was younger, they tried Kathy. That made me cringe. I mean, I can remember from like the 4th grade, someone trying Kathy, and I was like, it's a no-go.
So you're Catherine.
In high school, they tried to make fun of me by calling me Kit Kat, but it stuck. So I go by Kat in my circle of friends.
Okay.
But not Kate. I've never.
Not Kate or Katie. Mm-mm. But it doesn't start with a K. I think that's different. Although, all right. Welcome to another episode of Tangled Rights. We're on episode 93, 94. We're getting so close to episode 100. I'm so surprised it's almost been 2 years of doing this. We have an esteemed guest. Justin's not here yet. He'll be here later if you wait. But we do have a guest, not Katie, but introduce yourself.
Yeah, not Katie, never Kathy. You can call me Kat if you know me. But my name's Catherine Wiersch. I'm an attorney by day and a baker by night. And I'm currently a hearing commissioner for the district courts, doing all of those specialty courts up on the 5th floor.
I do a little research on people before they come on. We've never met. This is
correct.
Very first time. I think
feel
I've
like,
seen
are you about
around.
to tell me my future?
Maybe. Sometimes there's tie-ins
Okay.
But I looked up your LinkedIn, and you even had that attorney by day, baker by night.
Yeah.
So baking is super important to you?
My dad was a baker here locally. And,
Like as a profession?
He was a union member and by trade a baker from his generational family. His dad was a baker. His dad's dad was a baker. My dad tried to open businesses. We've had a couple of bakeries. So I love baking. It is like the way I eat my emotions, but I also just like the idea of following a recipe and getting a result that's happy, because in the defense world, we can follow a recipe and sometimes we don't get the outcome we want. So I use baking as like a stress relief of something I know if I rely on, I can eat it and it will taste good. And and others will like it too. So,
and I would guess your ingredients are a lot better at following instruction than your clients.
Yeah. The ingredients are reliable and consistent. I mean, I guess that's actually true. Like baking soda can expire, flour can expire.
Okay.
So there's some ingredients you got to stay on top of. You got to make sure that you have, not expired stuff. You have to make sure you have the right amount and that you put them in at the right time. So, oh my gosh, it is very much like being a defense attorney. But
so your dad, member of a union. So does that mean he's on the strip? Like he's at one of the restaurants?
Well, he's not right now. He's deceased. But I remember being on the picket lines of the Stardust and the Riviera. And when I was a kid, he helped open some of the bakeries. The Excalibur. I remember walking the bakery in the bottom floor of the Excalibur when I was a kid and stealing donuts off their racks. And yeah.
Wow. Okay. I mean, how long have you been in Vegas? Were you born here?
I'm born and raised.
Okay. See, there's a few. I moved here when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
So spent a lot of time, this is my home, right? Justin's from Kansas, moved here post law school. So I think we see a lot of people with different relationships with the city of Las Vegas, especially lawyers. There's a lot of lawyers who come here, go to law school elsewhere, grew up elsewhere, and then there's jobs in Vegas at the DA's office, PD's office, whichever. And so there's a lot of people we interact with, and this is their first exposure to Las Vegas. People who, grew up in Las Vegas. Your dad works on the Strip, member of a union. A lot of friends I had that had that same experience, and it's just a different experience, I think, actually growing up here and being so reliant on the Strip. And, that's the way of life sounds like you grew up with.
Oh, yeah. And my dad became the worst part of I think when you think of Las Vegas and what could go wrong, I think of my dad. He got really hooked into gambling, and to the point where we were homeless and couldn't pay rent because he was just striving to make that next best hit, gambling. So there was a lot of my life where casinos had a really negative or a big gray cloud hanging over their head. Sure. I don't like to go there. It's not a place that I'm like, oh, let's go to the shows downtown. Or when friends come to town, I'm reluctant. It's just not a good place for me. But, from that, I saw the drive in my dad that he just wanted to succeed. He wanted to provide something for his kids that he didn't have. He grew up in the system. And so I think, for what it's worth, I value the Strip and what it offers to our city. My brother is a union member and works on the Strip as a chauffeur. So I know and there were times where he'd made more money than me. And I was, in college and had careers. And so it was like, cool, I'm glad we're getting all this debt so that you can make more money as me as a server. But I know the value there, right? And I've got nieces and nephews that choose to do trades or choose to do hotel work, and it's like, that's part of our community. It's part of what we do. But I think from that kind of developed my passion for the law, because the rules were we were always on one side or the other. It was like I seen my dad in business situations, like civil ones where landlord-tenant issues at his bakery and who's in the right and who's in the wrong. And I always felt like seeing that frustration from both sides. My brother's made bad choices, so I've seen that choice, on both sides. I've been a victim to things. I've seen the world from that side. When I went to law school, I thought I was going to go into contract, like labor union work.
Okay.
I was a paralegal or I was a secretary, and then a clerk and a file clerk, and then a paralegal for about 10 years at a law firm. UNLV had they hadn't even reached 10 years yet, and they were really picky, and they waitlisted me, and I was like, cool, way to reject your own homegrown, commitment to give back to the community. But it worked out. They waitlisted me. I became a paralegal. I thought I was going to do contract stuff, and then I took contracts, and I was like,
so boring.
What am I doing?
How boring was your contracts professor?
It was mine was so bad they ended up firing him, and then he put in a sub.
Wow!
And it was like the sub was literally like, here's the answers to the test. Like, let's just make it through. And I was like, that sounds like a great idea. Let's just get through this class. But the law school experience opened my eyes to like the bigger picture of law. And that's where I learned that my upbringing actually played more into the criminal defense world.
Oh yeah.
So that's how when I came back, I ended up going out of state for law school to the University of Dayton, Ohio.
Go Dragons.
Flyers.
Oh, sorry. Dragons is their minor league baseball team.
Oh,
as you can
yes,
tell, I'm a
that's
minor
right.
league baseball fan, so that's that.
They do.
Flyers is the college basketball.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But
okay. The Dragons is the minor league baseball team. Check
it's
it.
True.
Check
it
it for me.
I've been to those games. They had a 2-year accelerated program.
Oh, cool.
So when I accepted their admission, that was my goal, was just get the paper, get in, get out. And when I came back, it wasn't to go back into contracts. I called up my very first attorney that I ever supported as a paralegal, John Pirro, and he was at the PD's office, and he was like, come on back, let's do an intern. And so then I got my feet wet as an intern, but just my story connected so well with it that I was like, these are the people I want to serve as I am in the legal profession. So it worked out.
And I don't know if you know my history. Me and Justin, we started
No, I did not Google you.
Okay.
Shane.
All right. This is great. This is great then. Our history is we started our law firm a couple years ago. Justin has a history. He was on the prosecutor side, prosecuting cases. So in starting our firm, we want to do personal injury because financially it's so great. But also we've gotten into criminal defense, and Justin, had the history there. So criminal defense is new to me in the last couple of years, and I can just say I love it so much. Like there's something about helping these people that need so much help, and the prosecutors might not think it, but their resources are endless. Yeah. And they just gloss over a case. Oh, you're charged with this, so you're guilty of that. And that's kind of the end of their story. You really have to fight to say, hey, what about this? Like this self-defense factor or this mitigating factor or something. You really got to put it in their face a few times and remind them. And then sometimes prosecutors change over, and then you got to bring it to the next prosecutor and say, hey, I was talking to your predecessor about this.
Yeah.
I know you're just glossing over it. And so meanwhile, these people are stressed, and facing time in jail, prison, whatever, difficulty getting work because now on their background check, there's felony charges that are pretty serious. So it's something that's become important to me too.
Yeah.
And that's mostly what we talk about here because I think the stakes are so high, and talking about things about a car accident are incredibly boring. Like that doesn't apply to everybody, but the Fourth Amendment applies to everyone. And we do a lot of analysis on the Fourth Amendment here and searches and current trials and things like that. But we've had just a string of guests, which we love. We've had so much fun. We've got like 5 guests lined up after as well. And you have a purpose right now. You're being kind, and we're glad to have you on and have new points of view. But I mean, tell us why you're really here, or one of the reasons you're here. What are you looking for now?
Well, I mean, for the last 3 years, I'm currently hearing commissioner, but that's only been the last like 4 months. Before that, I was at the public defender's office and I was hiding in a sealed room. And so learning about this podcast, I was like, I need to make sure that everyone knows or remembers who I am and what I'm currently doing. And so this is my way of coming out to the criminal defense world, that I'm running for judge in Henderson for municipal court. And I wouldn't be running for judge if I didn't hear through the legal community that courtroom needs some attention. We need to have a fairer, more balanced judge on that seat. So I am running for Henderson Municipal Court. Why did I pick Henderson Municipal Court? A lot of people go, oh, the muni courts, like blah, right? Misdemeanors, and that's and a lot of attorneys, they're working in our felony worlds, and so the small tickets become like the bull crap. Like, who cares? I care because for those 3 years that I was hanging out in a sealed hearing courtroom, I was doing mental health crisis holds. So we're talking about the patients who are placed on a hold due to their mental health, danger to themselves, danger to others, and their liberty is stricken from them, right? So they've been stripped of their liberty, they're in court, and now what do we do? So every morning I get a printout that says, here's every person in a hospital that also has a criminal case. So I could see that on the justice court level, and I was able, for the most part, because they're PD clients, to go down the hall and say, hey, knock, knock. Don't get a bench warrant on your client. He's in the hospital with me. But they're sealed. Not everybody knows that. Not all the courts see that.
Yeah.
So it was a way for me to say, okay, how can I assist in the criminal process while my clients are dealing with these civil issues? When I ran into the municipal courts, it was like crickets, right? It's like, who can I call? Who can I track down?
Yeah.
And so eventually I established some key relationships in all the muni courts, a city attorney that I could at least call and say, hey, look, we've got a mutual client. Do not put a warrant on them. What are you guys requiring of them? Who is the PD in that world? Most of the time, the attorneys in the muni court weren't calling me back. So it would be like, do I need to make special appearances? Do we need to waive the sealed component so that I can share this information with you? Like, let's just not do warrants when these people are with me and I can try and get them stabilization through medication or into services.
Yeah, they don't deserve warrants either.
Well, it's not willful and it's not intentional. They're locked up due to their mental health, right? It's literally in the statute that they are incapable of making their own decisions. So from that frustration of like, man, it is taking me a lot to try and navigate all of this. And also, why aren't we sharing information? Why aren't we looking at this person and saying, look, we have a criminal case as well. Can we incorporate some requirements to kind of do both? Some of the jurisdictions easier to work with than others. But in seeing the problem overall, I thought maybe I can be a voice of leadership and experience in that role. So Henderson's my city. That's where I live. It's just got to be the one. When I started, whispering it, I started to hear from the defense community that we could use some change in that courtroom. So it made sense for me. I'm currently the hearing commissioner. I do specialty courts. I oversee our mental health crisis court. So the very court I was appearing in, I now am the judge in that room. I oversee our co-occurring disorder courts. I oversee our mental health court, and I oversee our prison reentry program, our medicated assistant treatment program from the prisons back to the community. So it's an experience that I love to bring to the bench because at the PD's office, for me, it was about every person has a story. I don't think most people wake up one day and say, today's the day I'm going to make a bad choice. Like I have seen that in my life growing up, that it is a journey to get there. And so sometimes it's about pushing the brakes so that we can say, what is your story? How did we get here? That becomes that mitigation component when we're in a criminal case of like, can we just slow down for a minute and talk about how this person got here and what's going to be a real, true, valid consequence that's going to make them safer on the other side? Because otherwise we're just mass incarcerating or putting people on probation. They're not going to be successful. Like, we've got to be able to say what really is going to be helpful to this person so that we can leave them better off when we get done with this court program or this court case. So I'm hoping to take all of that with me to municipal court because there he is, man of the hour.
A little over 15 minutes, but barely over.
I started the timer.
I know, I'm
over
like, based
15,
on the timer,
and
it's-
I started a couple minutes after we talked.
But
so.
I'm impressed. That's pretty close.
I drive real fast sometimes.
Okay.
Well,
I'll make that admission.
and
on-
it wasn't within the city of Henderson.
That's right. I'm like, it wasn't in my jurisdiction. But welcome.
Right.
Welcome. She was telling us about her current assignment and her past assignment where she's been sealed up in a courtroom where we've never seen you. I don't think you've ever been in the mental health crisis courtroom, have you?
It's on 5H.
Not mental health crisis.
No.
I've been in mental health
5H.
court.
Yeah, that's my court now. Yeah,
Okay.
so 5H. When you get off on 5, you usually go left.
5A
If you
and
go
5B
right,
are the two
there's
district
the
court
snack
judges.
machine, and then hidden behind the snack machine is an actual courtroom and a whole couple of hearing commissioners.
Oh, that used to be the Discovery Commissioner
it still
courtroom.
is. I share
okay. All right.
my
I
bench with the Discovery Commissioner.
used to be in there for civil court
which one?
getting in trouble.
What's that?
Which one? Aren't there two?
To what?
Discovery commissioners?
Yes, I only ever see Mr. Gans.
Okay. All right. And he's running also, isn't he?
He's running for district court judge, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
All right,
against
yeah.
Christopher Howell.
Against
All right.
Christopher
Cool.
Howe.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
How's that? I mean, mental health crisis doesn't sound fun at all.
It's not, but so the 3 years that I was the attorney, so I was the attorney in that spot. Now they appointed me to be the hearing commissioner. I really got irritated with how much our hospitals just don't understand the law, right? Most of them are doctors, nurses, support staff. Like nobody's expecting them to know the law, but they see things and they go, ooh, homelessness is bad. But it's like, yeah, but that's not the law. Like it's not illegal to be homeless completely.
Yeah, kind of.
I know. I was like,
there
I
was
mean,
that-
unless you're camping.
There was
or,
that, like, don't be homeless in public law that was made.
Well, it used
was
to
it?
be
Was it 2
like,
years
oh,
ago?
well, they don't have a lot of clothes. Like, how are they going to take care of themselves if they get out of the hospital? I'm like, that's not the criteria to be
That's
in a mental
not
health
your
crisis.
job.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate your empathy or the
Like their
compassion
heart's
you
in
have,
the right
but,
place.
but like, doctor, you can't prevent this person from movement in the world because he doesn't have winter shoes or something, you know? Like, it's now.
Here, that might fly because you might
No,
not.
it won't because we have services that can get them free clothing.
Okay.
The question
No, I'm
is,
saying it might
is the
fly
person
somewhere
willing?
cold, yeah.
If the patient told me, I refuse to put on shoes because I'm Jesus, so I will always walk barefoot, then I'm going to go, okay, well, that piece, that fact that you won't put on shoes could rise to the level of being a danger to yourself.
That's what I'm
Or
thinking.
an
from
inability
winter.
to care for yourself.
Well, and summertime too.
Or
Well, in the
summertime.
summer here, the roads.
Get
Yeah.
there.
But if that
Yeah.
person said to me, no, I just don't have it yet, but I know at the courtyard that I can pick up a piece of clothing, or I know Vegas Stronger will offer me, a new outfit every time I check in with them, which is true, then
Which
great.
includes shoes.
Yeah.
Because that's honestly like, I see homeless people in various stages of competency, probably to put it legally.
Well, that's legally. Yeah, I mean, that's
but to, like,
criminally.
just
yeah.
being with it, right? Just
Yeah.
more with it, less with it, more. They got better stuff. They got less stuff. Like this guy's got a backpack and a portable water bottle he can refill. And then you see some of these folks and their feet.
So this is where I'm going.
And this place is hard on your feet.
Those 3 years that I was in that courtroom, I didn't just sit at the desk and say, I'm going to file motions for OSC on all these hospitals because they're not getting their act together. It was, no, let me go to the hospital. Let me meet with the doctors, bring in the psychologist, bring in the nursing, bring in the lady that cleans out the trash. Every detail that we're seeing about these people is so relevant to the way the law works. It could be a random statement made while the bedding is being changed. Well, if they're making comments about bugs that don't exist while they're changing their beds, that random little staff member's thought might be like, this isn't important, but it is important because
Sure.
if they're talking about bugs that aren't existing, like we've got issues. So going to the hospitals and explaining to them, the law says X, I just need facts to connect the dots. And so over the last 3 years, the first calendar I took over in mental health crisis court had 155 patients a day across our Vegas Valley.
How many days a week?
2.
Oof. That's a lot.
So over 300 people a week coming in. Right now, my calendar is like between 40 and 60 a day. So what we've seen is that the hospitals are just keeping the worst of the worst. So we've narrowed down, we've pointed them in the direction of proper services. So
Right.
if you need, it's not just our homeless shelters anymore. There's a lot of these little break-offs, navigation centers, and courtyards, and the crisis stabilizations where we can say, hey, go there first. See if Nevada Behavioral Health will provide you something. Get to Southern Nevada Adult Mental Health Services, like referring them to all these things. And then at the end of the day, we just have the worst of the worst. The ones that are playing with their fecal matter or that, have major delusions that are making them
like some kind of
navigate the
advanced
community in a dangerous
schizophrenia
way.
or something wild.
Well, they always have to have a serious mental illness, but it's whatever their symptom is, how is that preventing them from being safe in our community?
And that can be safe to themselves or others.
Correct.
Okay.
Or an inability to care for themselves. So the shoe thing is a great example. Like just to have no shoes is not the issue, but it's will you go find like if I gave you shoes,
Right.
would you put them on?
Sure. Okay.
And if the answer is yes, then great. Get the man some shoes.
Right. Not a problem.
Yeah.
So I have a question. How many people in our community are homeless? Do they know? Is there like numbers? Like,
Well, they just did the census where they like do the test at like 3 a.m.
do they
I
go
don't know
down
what
into
the
the
most recent
tunnels to
numbers are.
count? Like, because that was the other thing I was going to ask. Like,
I
I've got
wonder
so
if
many
China
follow-up
Lake
questions.
does that, if they do the counts.
Yeah.
Because I know the most of them dispatch to like the high, like the areas that have the most, like the
Like
downtowns, the parks.
Las Vegas Boulevard, north
Yeah.
of Fremont.
Yeah,
And
Main
then
Street.
also-
Yeah.
And then the
There's
next
a-
question, do we have facilities for them all? No. Like there's not like a shelter that can,
Not house all of them.
Not all of them, no.
But I will tell you, so I sit on this committee, it's called Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. And they look at our community as like intercept points. Point 0 would be no criminal case, right? We've got the like navigation centers with councilperson Sager Bloom, who like is proactive. They go out into the streets. They'll say, hey, you're homeless. Would you like this opportunity? We've got the shine lights that go into the tunnel. Like that would be 0 intercept point. No contact with our criminal world yet. The officers are working on establishing some of that proactive contact as well. And then we have our criminal system, right? Where now we have them. They've been arrested for violating, whatever.
trespass,
Something simple,
the
yeah.
obstructing the
like in
sidewalks,
Henderson,
or
being in the park after the time,
Yeah.
even though the sign's not posted. Like that time.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Like I'm making something up right now. Like that could be a thing.
but it could be, or it could be improper use of like the shopping cart.
Oh.
Wow.
AKA they stole a Target shopping cart and they need to bring it back.
Is that a specific crime or is that
It is.
just
It
theft?
is.
It is.
It's a specific.
Yeah.
We've never had one.
Don't
of those.
misuse your shopping cart. But the point is at that point, it becomes an intercept point, right? And we were seeing this a lot more in our county. In CCDC, we have a pretrial services who is on site. As soon as someone is booked, they're engaging with pretrial services and they're being asked, okay, do you have Medicare? Do you have your insurance together? What are your hurdles for returning to court? Do you need housing? Do you have a phone? So they're assessing them right at intake, regardless of what the outcome of their case is. Like that's
Right.
not even the question at that
Yeah.
time. The point there was to look at what's preventing people from being released, right? Because we see a lot of release orders, and then we get the status check. They know, oh, they're still in custody at our prelim day because they never got out on their electronic monitoring, or like they didn't have the phone and get, like all these little hiccups. So this council's trying to look at kind of the poverty type, the lifestyle issues, right? Like how can we get this person back on track? It includes medication assisted treatment. So we've got Matt working in the jail to try and get them out and stable so that they return to court and we can release some of that pressure for them to negotiate cases in a coercive manner because they're stuck in jail, right? I can't remember the question, but
How are the therapy services in jail?
well, our jail is not supposed to be our behavioral health facility.
My mom is one of the therapists in jail.
Oh, what's your
That's her
mom's
job.
name?
Carolyn Cox.
Oh,
I don't know
no,
if you
I
know
don't
her.
know.
Yeah. So
Wow, that's
there
interesting.
you have it. Yeah. I was just.
Well, and
I was trying to get a response.
I
Say
know
they're
a way
horrible.
for you to find out.
No, I think that they're
I know a
overburdened.
quick way for you to find out.
What?
Go get arrested
Oh, act crazy.
and then act crazy or say that you.
She's out of town
Just
right
keep
now.
saying,
She's not
like,
going to be
well,
there.
My mom works here.
My
And they're
mom
like,
works
sure,
here.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then-
Okay.
You're gonna witness your bullshit. Get 'em in the.
Well, I've had that happen in my mental health court. Like plenty of times, hospitals are like, "Oh, they think that they're a hand surgeon," or one person thought he was like a professional sports player, and it was just like, check the picture. Oh, well, Your Honor, I'm not really sure that that's fake. So maybe that's not the delusion. Like this could be a real legit thing. So I don't know if it would work, but I think if you got arrested and you kept saying, "My mom works here, I want to talk to my mom," they'd be like, "Sure, sure, sure. What's her name? Oh, snap! Like, We'll get you right
Well,
up
she's
to
not
her.
an employee. Like if they looked her up, she's not an employee of the jail. That's like a third party that
Yeah, they're
the
subcontracted.
medical side of things.
Yeah, same
So-
as Courtney for her. I got a friend that does. It's some kind of something to do with this stuff that you're talking about. She deals with like I think
the nursing side of
it's
things.
nursing side things or like something to do with drugs, like administering the Suboxone and stuff like that. She deals with
Probably
that,
the
but it's another company that is subcontracted that she works
Yeah.
for. She doesn't actually work for CCDC, but
It's
she's
like
in
NAF
CCDC.
care or something
Yeah.
now.
Something like that. Yeah.
It was a big world behind the scenes of the jail.
All right, so we talked about you live in Henderson. I have some history in Henderson. I went to Green Valley High School.
I was like, you have a record? Do we need
I do not have a record.
You have any open cases?
Have I picked up any speeding there? I don't think so. I don't think I've ever had any kind of criminal. You check me, I guess. So I go to Henderson Court more, a municipal court more out of the two of us. And all the prosecutors I know very well because I went to high school with one, went to law school.
You went to Green Valley?
Went to Green Valley, went to law school with a couple others. The judges, at least Department 2 and 3, like I went to high school, middle school with one of the girls whose uncle, Burr's been living there forever. And then Department 2, Noah's brother, I like all these things. It feels like home, but we've talked so much on here about how much we hate dealing with Henderson courts just because, for example, going to a park after hours, that is a real example of a case we had.
And there really wasn't a sign. There
And-
was a sign there, but like where you drive in, you couldn't tell.
and
Well,
how
it's a park.
Well,
I
what's-
don't think it's common knowledge that like park has hours.
Well, the other thing she was
I
trying to do is
digress.
her friend's car had stalled out and she was trying to jump him. So that's why she drove in there and she got arrested, like full on, spent time in jail, had her car towed.
not cited. Not
Arrested.
cited, but arrested.
But they're the safest city in America.
I have so many
You're-
statements,
Oh, I have. I'll
but
make,
not on the
I'll make
camera.
statements for you.
But you,
I got so many.
you live in Henderson now. I looked you up. You went to Chaparral High School.
That's true.
Because our Gladys sitting right here, she also went to Chaparral.
Okay.
So, we're
I know the chance.
What's that face
so.
mean?
It's a joke. It's like, how do you get from Chaparral to the freeway? And like, nobody's ever made it.
It's literally like
it
right
used to be.
there.
I mean,
I don't get it. Like
It's-
what?
It's kind of
because it's ghetto, people get killed. Is what they're saying, right?
At Chaparral?
Chaparral.
Chaparral is super sketch right now.
I think
Was
I will
it-
say
I'm
that.
also the youngest one. I graduated in 16, so when I was in high school, that was the
Okay, so this.
I mean, and I think it depends. Like Green Valley and Chaparral existed at the time. Coronado wasn't around. Liberty wasn't around. Del Sol wasn't around. Like
what do we do without Del Sol?
our cities just. Well, that's where you're zoned for, where you live. So
Oh, okay.
that's why I mentioned
I
that.
don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, because you're not from here.
No,
You're not from here, so
even
we
from
used
here.
to talk about what high schools we were from. So Green Valley used to be, Green Valley. You're the fancy
Yeah,
one.
you were
And then-
my rivalries in bowling because I lettered in bowling.
Oh wow, wow! We didn't
What's
know.
your-
I was
what's-
like a backup.
What's your highest score?
263
That's pretty solid.
That sounds
Yeah.
good.
That beats me by
out
like,
of 300. That's pretty good.
Oh, okay.
It's like 8 strikes or 9
that
strikes
beats
in a
me
row.
by like a solid 100 points. The
I've
best
only
score
ever
I've ever
lost
made.
once to my husband, and the day I lost, I broke my bowling shoes because I threw such a big tantrum, stomping.
You stomped him out?
I didn't stomp him physically.
No, the shoes. I'm saying you
But
stomped
yeah,
the
I
shoes.
stomped them to the point where the soles of my
Were
bowling
they?
shoes.
Had you had
ripped
them
off.
for a while? Were they like at least old bowling shoes
No,
or
they were probably.
fresh, tough bowling shoes? You just
I
stomped
mean,
the
not
shit out of
fresh,
them.
but
apparently.
I did some league play when I was. I like bowling. You know
No,
why?
bowling's fun.
Because my dad gambled so much at the showboat.
He got free.
He would
bowling?
but they would do quarter games. So I would just sit there and bowl, and then my dad gambled at Samstown bowling. So it was like, that's what we did. I didn't want to sit in the arcade. We just, pay the $2 or whatever it was, because I'm super old. That was like in the 90s.
And if you didn't have to pay to rent shoes if you brought your own too. So another way
I
to
didn't
save
get my
money.
own bowling shoes until I was in high school.
Ah,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, and I got my own bowling ball in high school. My friend gave me her backup ball, and I have
Do you
my
do the
name
whole,
initialed on
you do
it.
the whole thing where you like and throw your
So,
one heel out and like
I
all
don't.
that?
I do.
You know what I'm talking
I do
about?
swing a leg. I do swing a leg, but my hand doesn't do. We do it like normally. It twists up. Mine twists underneath, just from like whatever natural. But what they do when you get your own ball is they watch you throw the ball, and then they can weight your ball to your throw. You can
Sounds like
you can
cheating.
train yourself to do something cool, but mine was just like throw the ball, and then you like throw the ball, and that's how they weight the ball.
And you were on the bowling team?
I was.
Did they
You
have
get
a
fitted for bowling? I didn't know that.
Did they have
That's
like a problem
awesome.
with performance enhancing drugs with you guys?
Not with me. No.
Well, I think depending
I know you'd
upon
have to ask
What's
Green
your
Valley
history?
because
What's
Green
your
Valley would
history?
always.
depending upon when you graduated, certain anabolic steroids might not even have been scheduled.
2000.
No, they were scheduled by then. They were recently scheduled though. It's some things that you
I'm
find
not really
out.
concerned with it. Do you have any questions about enhancement drugs?
No, I
We
was
want to know.
I was just
saying.
wondering.
Position right now
I was just
today.
wondering if you got into that because you throw the ball holder and you just smack the thing, you know?
No, I mean you always have a predominant hand, right? Like my right arm was always stronger than my left
Well, sure, you're right-handed.
because I would hold this 12-pound ball.
Okay, you use a 12. Mm-hmm. So I'll use a 12 for like when I bowl. I usually have two.
You bowl?
When I bowl, I don't bowl a lot.
Everybody's
I was like, what?
gone bowling.
no.
Like everybody's
I probably
banned.
bowl 10, 20 times a year,
Okay.
right? Not
That's a lot.
Once a
I
month?
think that's a lot.
Something like that. Sometimes I go 2 or 3 times a month. Just
When's the
depends.
last time you've gone?
About 2 weeks ago.
Where?
Red Rock.
You just go for leisure?
Why don't
or
I
you,
get
like,
invited?
Your friends are going bowling?
Just go
I know, like,
with a couple of my buddies, whatever. It's just fun. Bowling. I get pissed because I suck at it, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're in the
you gotta
area
watch
and,
where
like-
your feet are. The dots in the bowl.
No. You watch the middle line and you throw the ball as hard as you can straight down the
See,
middle.
that's the problem with bowling. It's not about speed. Some people think, oh, I want the lighter ball so I can throw it harder. No, the heavier ball provides more control so that when you place the ball, it goes where you want it.
So I'll
instead
usually
of
use
these wild ass.
a 15 for my
Gross.
first throw, and if I don't hit a strike, then I use a lighter ball because I feel like I can guide it better.
All right, give us a
Interesting.
life lesson how bowling, because you're just saying something, and I feel like there's a connection there. Give us something there. I just feel like there's something.
Well, I mean, bowling.
Bowling is like life.
We'll go back to my baking analogy. So bowling, right? There's markers on the lane.
Mm-hmm.
There's the etiquette of bowling, like waiting for the people next to you to make
You
sure
make
that
loud
you don't
noise
throw
when they
them
go,
off.
so to screw with them.
You're supposed to be quiet during
Oh.
bowling. But when you throw that ball, the ball's going to go where the ball's going to go. Sometimes the oil on the lane is going to affect your ball.
True.
Have you ever seen someone that didn't realize that those things are slippery?
Yeah.
Step out there and just go.
Yes, I've done it myself. I've fallen.
I might have had a case like that once.
I just fell in December on the bowling lane. I was in borrowed shoes, so I blame the shoes because you can't control what's on the bottom of your shoe to make sure it's smooth. But I was in borrowed shoes, and you just pass that foul line just a little bit, and it is slick.
Yeah, it
so I
goes-
just
turns into
slammed
ice.
right, and I've got a bad knee. It was like all bad news.
I dated a girl in college that was her college job. She worked at the bowling alley on the campus, and so I'd get free bowling because we were dating. The girls' bowling team would be in there a lot of times. About the time that I'd come in, I'd get my ass kicked by these girls constantly. I never once it's like you're saying 260, 280 points, and I'm over
I
there
don't
bowling
throw
at
that
150.
now. If we're being, I mean, that's my highest when I came in.
Are you retired? Is that what you're saying?
No, because I still bowl. I mean, not as often as you bowl, but I mean, when I bowl an average game right now, it's probably like 150, 160. So it's not.
Wow.
The highest I ever
I'm kinda
bowled was
disappointed
during
now.
like a competition when I
Okay.
bowled the 263.
That's good. Did you win?
I did. I won women or girls doubles for the state, and I got a scholarship.
Really? How much?
$50. I mean, every dollar counts.
It
I don't even know
does.
if I used it. It's probably lingering out there.
It's still cool. I mean, it is cool because you can say you got the scholarship. That's the bigger thing. You can put it on your resume.
Yes, I can. That's
Or
why I
like
say it.
two facts, 2 truths, and a lie. Like, I had a
just hate it.
scholarship from bowling.
When you hear that, they're like, "Oh, you got a scholarship," and you're thinking, "Oh, okay." Minimum scholarship's like $500, right? Because that'll buy a book. No, $50. It's like, oh, cool. I can get 10 more of you, and then I can afford one of my textbooks.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know. I never used it, so it's just probably went into unclaimed scholarship funds. Hopefully, it went to somewhere else.
Next year, it was $100.
Who knows?
Hopefully. That's crazy, though. And you got into it because your dad, and you just happened to do it, or did your dad already bowl, and then like?
No. My dad gambled. He had a really bad gambling problem. Like we were homeless sometimes. I've lived in Palace Station, I've lived in Boulder Station, and I've lived in Samstown, and I'm talking like every day residing there. Like my dad would gamble so much he would get comps. Like some days it was good and some days it was bad, so we would bounce around a little bit. That's also a fun fact when you go out of state and they're like, "Have you ever lived in a casino?" And I'm like, "Yes, I have."
Because usually it's like, no, we don't live in
like,
casinos.
no, we don't do that. It's like, "Oh yeah, I have. I have lived in a
When your
casino."
father has a gambling addiction, maybe you might.
Yeah, I ate at buffets every day.
But
or
that was also
cafes.
back in the day when the buffets were
Things
like
were cheap, yeah.
but also
Yeah,
premium.
or-
Like you'd get ribeye for
Yes, or like lobster
$6.
day with the ticket, and you'd be
Yeah.
like, "This is the best day." And now you go and you're like, "I regret every bite."
Yeah.
Some places.
There's what was that place that Lawrence always wants us to go?
Palms has
Oh, I
a
heard
seafood
the
one right
M.
now.
No,
Has a
it's
good
not the
one,
Palms.
too.
It's the one, the Cosmopolitan, the Wicked Spoon or Silver Spoon
Oh, that
or
was
something
different.
like that.
I went to the
Well, we're
Palms. You
talking
didn't go,
about
but
Samstown, Boulder Station.
I've never been to Sam's Town.
I
It's actually kind of by my
I
house.
grew up on Samstown too. Yeah, that wasn't too far from
Is it
us.
still
so-
open?
Yes.
Maybe I'll have to go in there
It's
sometime.
one of the Boyd properties still open.
what?
Named after my law school.
Side cannery, I think they just imploded.
East Side
Cannery?
Cannery?
It imploded.
Yeah, like yesterday.
Like they destructed it.
Oh,
you mean?
I
It's
didn't
like
even-
they broke.
It's such a common
They
occurrence.
broke
It's
it on
frustrating
purpose.
to me because I'm like, that could have been a homeless shelter. I'm just saying, it had all those rooms.
Yeah, and they did the one. What was it?
Texas Station.
and then there's nothing even there. It's like, what's the point?
It's just empty.
That's when I grew up on.
The one down on Lake in Henderson off of the 95 on
Fiesta.
Lake Mead, the Fiesta, they kept the
Parking garage.
the parking
like a
garage, and now
sports
they're going to
complex.
convert it into like a sports complex.
At least
Not
if
a
they're
park,
if they're doing something
pretty
with
close.
it, that's better than nothing. But
Well, I saw like yesterday, City of Las Vegas announced they're going to want to open up an ice rink in the Northwest, kind of near my house, because there's one 10 miles away, so not close enough. And I was like it's positive stuff. It's good community stuff. But when you think of extreme necessities of homelessness,
I was thinking it was.
that is, yeah, hockey. Yeah, I know, exactly.
Because I was like, what are you talking about?
But I mean, it excites the people because I want positive things for my kids to be into and have parks and, something that's not private either, that you got to pay a ton of money to go into.
Sure.
We need access to parks. I think parks are still utilized, but maybe not as much as when we were kids.
Definitely not.
I think
I didn't grow up here
we're
back in
just
that
so
point.
much more
Yeah, there's
scared of outside now and strangers and what could happen to kids, which maybe reasonable, maybe
These
not.
things. It's these things, and then like video games and stuff.
Cell phones for the audio listeners, right?
Yeah, sorry, cell phones, video games. Because like back home on a Friday night or a Saturday night, all of us in high school would be out cruising Main Street, sitting at Floyd's, kicking a football, doing something. Just
And be back by 10 or be back by whatever.
Curfew
right?
was at 11, so if you hung out past 11, the cops would come bother you. Unless you're 18, which only the seniors would do that, but whatever. But now it's a ghost town. So I guarantee you it's the same everywhere. Where like we had a reason to be outside and socialize because that was where you got your interactions. Well, now with not just social media, or not just the cell phones, but now social media, you can talk to 50 of your friends all at once in a group chat and never have to leave your bedroom. Connectivity's great, but like a lot of the negatives.
Well, I deal with that as an adult. Like I was just bragging to my husband that I actually have like a night out planned with girlfriends. And he was like, "Oh my God, you have friends?" And I was like, "Yes, I have friends." And I'm like,
Wow.
it's just finally making it out of the text string, right? It's like we've
They
been
go to
so-
different schools, right?
You wouldn't know them. You wouldn't know them.
You wouldn't know that.
I met
Super
him.
cool,
I
though.
met him through personal work
So
stuff.
nice. You were coolest.
Well, and he was like, is he naming like my old coworkers? And I'm like, no, it's none of them. It's new friends. And he was like, I will believe this when I meet them.
It's harder
But
to make new
it's
friends
harder
as
to
an
get.
adult.
Oh, yeah. And I met this new group of friends through Instagram. Like on a Henderson, they're
Like a
called
meetup?
Henderson Walk and Talk. And it's this little group of girls, and that's literally what they do. They walk a 2-mile lap of whatever park we're designated in Henderson, and we talk. We get to know each other
About whatever.
And I met the leader. She works in the mental health field as well. So it was like an easy slide in for me because I was
Sure.
like, oh, somebody who knows what I deal with and go through. And they let my kids come. So that's usually a barrier for me.
How old are your kids?
6 and 4. And I don't have this great support system. My parents are deceased. My brothers are, I love you, but they're not the most reliable. So to me, it's like I got to be able to bring my kids or spend that money for babysitting. And it's like expensive to do babysitting. So this little group lets me bring my friends. And yeah, point being is we finally got the events out of the text string and we're going to go out. And otherwise, I can just talk to them on social media and check in what they're doing. I don't need to do the meet
No, that
face to
stuff,
face.
it is good for that perspective, but I don't think most of it's used that way. I think it's mostly like reels and doom scrolling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
but
deleted.
there are positive things. There are
No, for
positive
sure.
things.
Like I kept my Facebook Messenger because you can delete Facebook but still have Messenger because all the people that I had friended on my Facebook, dudes I played rugby with, guys from the military, stuff like that.
Do you play rugby now?
No, I stopped
Oh, you
playing 3 years ago. 3.5 years ago.
I know there's a big rugby community here.
It's pretty decent. The team's big. It's one of the largest. They call it SIP, which it's an acronym. It stands for something, CIP, but it basically means you're registered with the team. You paid through USA Rugby. You're on this team. They have, I think, the largest or the second largest number of people that are SIPs. That doesn't mean that they always get that many people at practice, which was sort of a problem for me because the sport itself is difficult. And that last season, I broke my tibia and popped a rib out. Yeah, and it was a minor fracture. That. And so I was.
Now he does jujitsu, so I don't know.
Yeah, jujitsu.
I tried jujitsu as a form of like stress relief.
It's great.
And I popped my knees out of place. So then I was like, cool.
How did that happen?
From like the side kicks.
That's not.
No, wait, not jujitsu.
Muay Thai.
I was doing boxing.
Kickboxing. Okay. Yeah.
It's all the same.
I was like,
right?
wow, you got kicked in jujitsu. That explains why you got hurt.
No, but my kid started, I put her in jujitsu because I was like, she needs to build some confidence when it comes to boys because I was beating kids up when I was little. I was just defending myself on the streets of Samstown. But some little kid was messing with her at school. So I was like, I'm not against you sticking up for yourself. Let's teach you some things. And we put her in jujitsu and she would crush those little boys.
It is interesting when you see the littles. The girls, I think little girls develop just a little bit. They get taller faster, like their mental acuity is better. So I'm sure that they're picking the sport up a little bit better. But you'll see these like 6-year-old kids, 7-year-old kids, and they're just getting walloped by these chicks. You know, in 5 years, it's not going to be the same. But for now, they're just beating the crap out of them. It's wild. It's also funny to me. I don't think a lot of things are like really cute. Like where I'd be like, oh, that's adorable. But when you see a little like 4-year-old running around in a gi, it's just the cutest thing in the world. I don't know. It's like you can't. Yeah,
it's like because it's kind of that tough material, so they're not really bent to the body. They're just like
you can't look at it and not like smile just because it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Or when they start grabbing at each other and you're like, I don't know, it's fun. I love it.
Or they run up and they mean to engage, but what they'll do is just like
right.
because they're like awkward and they don't know how to collar tie and sweep and just drop the knee or whatever because they're kids. They're not supposed to do that. I don't know. It's just fun watching them.
I love it.
I can't wait to put my kid into it. I hope he likes it.
How old is your kid?
2 years, 2 months.
Oh, that's nice. That's a great age.
That's some time.
Yeah, a little while.
I want to ask about campaigning because you're talking about being social after having a job where you're locked up for a bit. What has campaigning been like?
Okay, so we're getting real personal here. I do feel like being on like a specialty team in the capacity that I was, where there was only 2 people on my team. So most teams at the PD's office have 6 or 7. If you're on a specialty team, sometimes that can go to 8 or 9. My behavioral health team was me and my team chief and one other person. So we never cross-trained. It wasn't like we rotated through courts like we would see in our regular track. So it is a very isolating role. And I had this weird experience where I kind of grew up in the PD's office during COVID. So we were already in like a restricted, not seeing everyone. We came out of that. We got into this groove of being on track and everything was in court and back in session. And then boom, I jumped into this unique spot where I was all alone. So I would say personally, I was in a space where I didn't have a lot of engagement with my coworkers. And, it becomes a go to work, go home. I've got the kids. My husband is a fireman, so he leaves every 2 days.
County or city?
Federal. He's at the Air Force Base. He was an Air Force. He was active duty airman, and then he got out when I got licensed so that he wouldn't have to move me somewhere. And now he went back as a civilian. But he still works on the base, doing the 2 days on, 2 days off. So it became a very isolating space for me. So campaigning is actually fun because I like people, and I consider myself like an outgoing person. So going up to people and introducing myself and telling them my story and engaging with them, it's like, that's the easy part of campaigning. The hard part is like having that fear of missing out, literally. When you see someone post and you're like, oh crap, that was a great event. How come I didn't know about it? Who didn't tell me and why didn't they tell me?
Sure.
Like, why wasn't I invited?
Right.
I think the problem I'm having right now, I mentioned this earlier, is a lot of the attorneys either don't remember me or they're like, where have you been? Because you've been gone for 3 years, right?
I'm locked away. Yeah,
right. So
I'm
it's like
away.
trying to come back out and say, no, I'm here. I still exist.
I've been here. I've been practicing. I know my stuff still. Don't worry.
Right. Like when I saw you in the halls, I was like, you remember me, right? Like we've had cases together with mutual clients.
That was
like
the first
I think
time
I
I've seen
helped
you
you
in ages.
Yeah. So it was. It's been a little bit hard to like get the word out that I'm running. And it's Muni Court, right? Not many people are in that world every
and it's
day.
only the city of Henderson jurisdiction too.
So some of that is it's nuance, right? Learning what's the best time spent or where's the time spent is the best, most efficient. So
It's another one I won't be able to vote for.
you can't vote for me, but you can donate.
you can donate. You can spread the word, right? Is your second question? Hey, like, what's your name and where do you live specifically? And I need to know cross streets. And people just get creeped out, like, why are you asking me this?
No, usually it's like
I'm almost there.
because I wear that name tag. I wear a badge, right? And my badge says, I think it says like Henderson Judicial Candidate or something. It's kind of vague. It doesn't say Henderson Municipal Court because there was a time where I thought, am I going to go Justice Court? Am I going to go Muni Court?
Sure.
So I kept that kind of vague until I made my decision. But most of it's, here's who I am. They see the card and they go, oh, Henderson Municipal. And that's where I do the follow-up of, yeah, so if you live in Henderson or if you know somebody who can, you can vote for me. And then if they say, oh, no, I don't or whatever, and I say, that's okay. We all know what happens on June 8th. Right before voting day, you send out the text, who do I vote for? Who are these people? Because it's always
Right.
city, jurisdiction,
Sure.
and county. And so that's where you start going. Who have you met? Do you like them? Are you recommending them? Blast it out. So it doesn't matter that you can't vote for me. You will probably know somebody who can.
Yes.
And everyone can donate because some way around you've had some interaction with a municipal court.
Well, I have a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, that like just based on sheer numbers, Muni Court probably has more interaction than a lot of the other courts.
With an everyday person, if you get a speeding ticket, it's typically, if you're in Henderson, most of it is municipal court. In Las Vegas, because of how the city of Las Vegas laid out, might be justice, might be
Yes.
municipal.
Yes.
But in Henderson specifically, if you get a ticket,
You're going to Muni.
most likely it'd be in municipal court, and you might be in front of the three judges
That's
on,
what I explained
on
to
the
people.
third floor.
Like we're literally the community court. It's like nobody likes their traffic ticket. Like
No, their third floor, their entry floor, second floor. They're weird like that. They have a basement, which is the
that's
first
right.
floor.
Yeah, it's the
they're
criminal
kind of
services or whatever on the bottom where the DA's office,
It's
or the
kind
county
of
attorney's
different.
office, city
yeah.
attorney's office.
It's a little
it's
different
on the
there.
second floor, right?
Yeah.
Or is it the third
They
floor?
call the top floor of the municipal court the third floor,
But it is the second floor.
but you
But it is the
enter
second floor.
you enter in on you enter in on the second floor,
What's in the basement?
and then the basement's the
first
city
floor
attorney's
does.
office.
Oh, the
Even
first
though it's below ground, it's the first floor.
Yeah, they're the
This
only
is
court
like
that's
that
kind of
baseball, like who and what.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Who's on first? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for that reference. But they're a little different.
Adam
It's a
Costello.
city. It's a city building, but the county rents out space to have the justice court there. North Las Vegas has their own building. Anyway, we're getting a little off topic here, but
They're weird. Henderson's weird.
we've
That's why I
say
fit
it.
in.
we've just had some experiences there, and it's just like
Listen, the only thing I hope is I hope that you win, truly, and I hope that you change some things
Well, I do think there's some opportunities for change.
for growth and developing.
Yes, and I think if we're looking at where the city can go and where our cities are going, like, I sit on some of these committees with the CJCC and I sit on their diversion and deflection, and everyone right now is focused on mental health. They're focused on housing issues. And this is our opportunity to use the courts in a way that's fair and consistent, but also goal-oriented. There are ways to navigate court requirements that do not just burden someone, but actually produce a benefit for them. And I think that's an opportunity I can bring to that bench. Like, yes, we have a Veterans Court. Department 1 covers that. But are we using best practice standards? Are we utilizing, are we doing it right? Are we utilizing the right tools? Are we bringing in more resources, or are we shutting resources out? I think there's opportunity for growth in mental health. Municipal court does not have that. We have drugs, we have Veterans Court, but there's this huge gap of people that are going untouched when it comes to mental health. And I'm not going in day one flipping the table and saying, give me my mental health court. But when you see it, you know it. And when somebody's telling me, oh yeah, the deal is more time in jail. Well, once you've pled guilty, I have discretion over those requirements. So we might be able to say, hey, defense attorney, talk to me. Like, what can we do? Is there alternative options instead of just doing this or fining them or, I'm so many questions. But that's my goal, is to get there and really, truly look at the defendant and say, what is ailing them and how can we produce some kind of better benefit?
I'm assuming that this is opposed.
What's
Yes.
that? It is.
There's an
the sitting
incumbent, and then there's another.
And then there's a gentleman that put in.
So there will be a primary.
There was always a primary because of the city.
They just do it. Always have a primary?
The municipal court has a primary with 2. So I was always running.
That would be the general if there are only 2?
'cause
That's
I-
interesting.
Wait, so there's a primary, and then you're still going to have to go to the general, even if you.
The city, what is it? It's
Or
not
is
the
it
city
50
code.
Or
it's
if you
the
get 50%,
city-
are you okay?
50% I win. 51% I would win.
Okay, 50.
So-
And
Point,
then that's it. So it's
Yeah.
like the primary is the general then.
It can be.
It can be.
Okay.
It can
Right.
be, unless it's
But
split.
if now that we have 3, if we don't make it through, we go to general. But
Right. So if you
it's not going to get past June 9th because I'm going to win.
I like that. I like that. What would
You're the
you?
first one. You're the first one that said that. I love it. It's good.
I have a question. What would you say to the doubters or haters that say you wear your heart on your sleeve, or many hearts on your sleeve?
Oh,
You
look,
get the
that's
joke?
right.
I knew what you were doing. I thought you were going to get it. I was like, oh, she doesn't even know that she's got
funny.
hearts on her shirt today.
You got a lot of
I
hearts
wore
on
it
your
today and I was
sleeve.
like, I know it's not Valentine's Day, but I don't think it's wrong to go into the courtroom with some empathy and compassion, and I can still apply the law. And if anybody doubts my ability, come watch my courts because I do co-occurring disorders court and mental health crisis.
Is it
mental
publicly-
health court.
is it
those are
publicly?
our
We can go in there?
Those are our felony probation programs. So, and every day in that courtroom, I'm looking at the requirements that have been placed on them, the recommendations from a treatment team. I'm implementing sanctions. I'm giving them opportunities to fix. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I think the heart on my sleeve really just comes from a place of understanding. So, and the PD on my other sleeve is the place of reading the BS, right? If you're coming to me and you're telling me that this little piece of paper is your proof of community service, and I'm going to go, yeah, friend, this looks super sketch.
Well,
Right? Like-
they're not going to take that. So
But that's the insight I bring, right? Or if you're telling me that, like today we had somebody who had some issues with transportation. It's like, I've been there. I know that that can be true. So
Yeah.
let me give you the benefit of the doubt. We don't have to take a judicial position where the person walks in and they're guilty before they've even opened their mouth, right? We can listen. We can communicate.
have you been to Henderson Muni Court?
That's why I'm running for judge.
Oh, okay.
Because I heard that we need some change.
Can I ask
So-
you a hard question?
Sure.
The two
Crossfire.
the two sleeves that you've got. We just talked about the empathy and the understanding, and the public defender side. What are you going to be able to? What are you going to be able to do with the times where you got to put the prosecutor side on? You got to be the hammer. You're not the prosecutor, but you have to.
Yeah.
It's been, let's say it's pled, or you get a guilty verdict because you find them guilty, and are you going to have a tough time? Or are you going to have difficulty doing the hard thing?
No, and I deal with that now. The first day I was on the bench as a hearing commissioner, I put on the robe, fresh, brand new out of the dry cleaning bag, and I had to send 7 people back to prison. And I looked at my court coordinator, who I love, and I was like, you did this on purpose.
Kind of really getting you into it.
Baptism
I was
by
like,
fire.
did you plan this intentionally to make sure I could do it? Because here's the thing. If the law is clear, and in my right now as the hearing commissioner, they've already pled to whatever, the rules have already been fleshed out. So for me, it's about, do they know the expectation? Is it been clearly communicated to them? Have I given them an opportunity to explain themselves, provide whatever background they might want for my consideration? And when you come to me and you've still violated my order, it's not hard for me to say the consequence is this.
Yeah.
I clearly communicated that to you.
Right.
I gave you opportunities. I've given you second chances. So for me, that's not hard because what's hard for me is if you come in and it's a surprise and it's like, well, I didn't know. Well, okay. So for the first couple months, it was sort of getting on the same page. The hearing commissioner before me, whether she did things that I would agree with or not, like I had to implement her orders. But once I started seeing those participants consistently now, 4 months in, it's like, I know, I've told you X. And on top of that, I go to my sites. So I tour the housing that they're at or the community service places that they could utilize. So for me, it's like, you're telling me you missed the sign-out sheet. It's right by the door. I've seen it with my own eyes. You cannot give me that excuse.
Ooh, that's solid. Because I bet a lot of people in that position might not know that. You might not have seen
They
that.
might, and some,
and then when
some
I
people
go
have
to-
pulled one over on somebody before by throwing out excuses like that, so they think they can, right?
So that's where I think it's and that's not even to pull one over on them, but that's really to show hey, look, I'm going to your space. I wouldn't ask you to do something unless I
know it's reasonable. And
right.
I know
so
you
it's
can
like,
accomplish
I know
it.
you can do this. So rise up. Don't bring me the baloney. Bring me the truth. Tell me what's going on. If it's treatment oriented, we can work with that. If it's really just you being a jerk, we can work with that too. But I'm giving you clear expectations, and I can follow the law. It's not a
What
problem.
I've had in a few times in Las Vegas Municipal Court is the judges go back and watch the hearings when they tell somebody something, and then they'll go back and say before even the hearing, and they'll say, you know what? I knew this was going to be an issue today, so I went back and watched the hearing, and I heard myself tell you clear as day, this is what you were supposed to do.
Right.
And then as a defense attorney, it's just like, I can't do anything. Like, I have nothing to argue against. It was so clear. It's not because I didn't communicate to you, because sometimes they'll blame the attorney and say, my attorney didn't tell me. No, I went back and watched the hearing. This is the judge saying, I watched the hearing and I heard myself tell you this.
Right.
And it's on you, you know.
Right.
So
Yeah,
those times it's
we
just
had
like,
one
oh
recently like
man.
that.
Yeah, we had one recently like that. So
And it sucks because, like, I don't know, I pride myself on having a pretty good memory for certain things, and one of them is the kind of stuff that happens in court. Like, a lot of the time, my staff can tell me something about a file, and I'll remember, you know, these are the facts about it. This is what's happened.
Right.
But you don't remember everything. And so when the judge comes in and you're like, oh, you know, that sounds like, yeah, maybe, you know, whatever, we'll go try it. And then he just shuts you down. And you're like, oh, crap. Like, what are we going to do now?
Well, and I learned my lesson. When I had track in North Las Vegas, my guy came in with his proof of community service, and I was like, perfect, great, love it. And then when I went to present it, the judge was like, approach. I know that space. That's not real. Is he really going to present fraudulent community service hours to me? And I was like, no, we will not. We need 2 weeks status checks, please. And then I'm going back to him and I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
They gave you
this
that, though.
judge knows the community. Right. Because the judge took respect to me and my like practice and
Because
was
you
like,
didn't
don't
know.
do this, right?
Sure.
Don't do this right now. If he needs more time, I'm going to give it to him. But don't do this. And I was like, we
Man.
will not be doing that. So that was a very harsh lesson for me of like, know what's going on in the community and what our people are.
As a judge, I don't think I
Required
could have
to do.
done that. I don't think I'd have given you more time. Not because of you, but because of them, because he still tried to do it.
Right. Well, she reprimanded him. It was Judge Harris.
Okay.
She ripped him a new one and reminded him that she is the community's judge. So she was like, don't try to do one over on
it's
me.
in order for me to get elected here, I have to live here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Don't play with
I'm
me.
not an outsider.
Right.
I am a North Las Vegas resident.
Right.
You know, I'm here for a reason.
How long have you lived in Henderson?
18-ish years.
Wow.
Born and raised here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Henderson would have been a little different back then, right?
Yeah.
It's changed a lot.
Got a lot bigger.
Yeah. We used to
got
call
a lot.
Henderson old Henderson, Hendertucky.
But-
I thought Hendertucky was down by
Yeah.
Wagon Wheel. Like, there was a section that was Hendertucky.
Yeah.
It's kind of expanded. There's like, I think Water Street will have some self-identification of Hendertucky. But that has gone through such.
Water Street's so nice now.
well,
there's
it
so many
is.
cool restaurants there.
There are. I love that. I'm down there often.
The only
like I do a
thing-
lot of.
About the restaurants that sucks is they have a lot of live music, and it's so loud in there. Like,
It is
Old
like
man
you
alert.
know, entertainment.
Old man.
no, I love music. I love concerts. I go to metal shows. I love loud music. But at
Have you
least,
been to Goldmine? They do a lot of like.
yeah,
rock.
yeah. But I mean, I walked in there thinking, oh man, live band, it's gonna be great. And you walk in there, and it's like the same type of speaker setup that you would have in like a
big
big
venue.
concert venue is in the House of Blues is in this tiny thing that's the size of this office.
Yes, yeah,
right. You're
yeah.
like, what the fuck are we doing?
All
Yeah.
a little older, and we just need the help being able to hear it.
I
I mean,
guess.
I do have my own hearing aids. I just shut them down. It's fine though.
Oh,
You get
well,
it.
I'm gonna have them if they make me go to this place again.
All right, so
funny.
to finish off, we always ask our judicial candidates, we want you to tell our listeners, any City of Henderson residents, why on June 9th, they should vote Catherine Wiersch.
Sure. So we wouldn't be in this position if the judge that was there was doing the best of her ability. So my goal is to take that seat and move forward in the times, whether it means new specialty courts or even just a more well-balanced and fair position from the bench as we see those cases come through. They are affecting people on our everyday, day-to-day activities, but they're also affecting some of our other courts. And so we really need to expand the communication between jurisdictions. We need a lot of things. And my hope is to bring all of those experiences to that bench and to make it a place where trust and respect for Henderson Municipal Court is restored, which I think is tarnished right now. So I'm hoping to bring that to Henderson. And if you know me, you know I can do it. So vote for me.
All right,
great.
one more question.
Okay.
What do you think about the ability to e-file in municipal court?
Oh, yeah.
Can we get the court website to just work consistently?
Yes.
I mean, we
I
have
don't
a
know.
lot
You
of.
tell
I
me.
have so many questions, and listen, everything is like
I have to email a motion? What is that about?
I know, and we're
Or you have
we're
to
a little bit
drive it
behind on
down
times
there.
in general. Like, there's always these little pockets in all of our courts that are like we're slowly getting there. I know that other jurisdictions are putting in place those kind of changes, and so what's not to say that we don't find that option and implement it ourselves. I don't know all the things that are going on. I have questions too. You know, I have questions why we can't implement concurrent time from cities to justice courts. I've got questions on why.
You can.
Well,
You-
you can, but
you
the judge
can
has
in theory, right?
Well, like all the parties have a say in that, right? And we're seeing some pushback in that in some of our courts. So I just have a lot of questions.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it so if you have two sentences in separate jurisdictions, isn't it the second one that sentences is the one that controls whether it's run concurrent or not? Because this one's already running, and so if this one orders it concurrent, then
Yeah, but the question is, will it happen? And we can have this conversation outside of it because it doesn't necessarily deal with Henderson Municipal Court.
It's
well, I'm speaking generally.
there's
I'm
so
not
many
talking about Henderson Municipal Court.
intrajudicial things
Yeah.
we have that go on. In
Do
our
you think that
cases.
there's
Well,
a
there's
little
some
bit of-
issues right now in one of our municipal courts, you know, where they're questioning whether something should be implemented or time should be imposed, if it should be imposed now, so that
Hopefully
other
it's not
courts
Justin's. You know we prosecute in Boulder City Municipal, right?
You flex your guns for all the listeners. He just flexed his arms.
But there was no change though.
Got it.
No one flinched. We all
tiny,
just
tiny biceps.
We all
no,
just
I
giggled.
actually had a DV trial on this morning, and I probably secured the, if not the record for the fastest bat DV guilty conviction in Boulder City. Then pretty dang close. 19 minutes. And
Okay, if
defendant
anybody
wouldn't
can
have-
beat that.
the defendant wouldn't have testified, then it would have been 6 minutes.
Oh, couldn't convince him otherwise.
I offered him a stay of adjudication.
No, we prosecute there. We're
Oh,
the,
you prosecuted.
yeah,
Boulder
we have the
City.
contract to prosecute out there.
That's interesting. So you prosecute on one side and you defend on the other.
I do. I think it makes me a better prosecutor.
There are some
Or a
jurisdictions
better
or
defense
some
attorney to
countries
do
that
so.
practice that.
But
Even
I was a
JAG does that
prosecutor
too.
first. But like I offered this guy a stay of adjudication.
Let me ask you the tough question. With the prosecutor on one side and the defense on the other, do you have problems navigating
Nope.
either side?
No, it made being a defense attorney made me a better prosecutor. Absolutely.
I'll say Justin's all in for whoever is his client because he puts
Right.
himself in their shoes. He's really good at that.
I do. Yeah. Once I got the jersey on, that's my team. What I will say is I can also understand positions a little bit better than I used to. When I was a baby prosecutor, you would not have liked me because it would be like, nope, hammer, hammer, hammer. And then I got to see as a defense attorney because
The hurdles.
the
and-
prosecutor, you don't go out. You don't go to their house. As a defense attorney, you go sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? Not all the time. Or like I had a track client where he was living over off of the 15 and it's not Lake Mead, it's the next one up. What is it, Cheyenne?
Cheyenne is north of Lake
15 in Cheyenne. And there's like a gas station. It's not a real gas station. It's like a convenience store. And he lived underneath this truck that was in the parking lot. And I found out about that from somebody. And I was like, I'm going to go try to find this guy. It's like as a defense attorney, you start doing things like that. And it gives you a better understanding,
Yeah.
I think, especially
That's how I feel about being in the hearing commissioner spot.
Sure.
I feel like all that experience is what gives me better insight.
But it gives me a better insight to understand my opposing counsel's clients and to try to empathize a little bit while still achieving the right goal. And that's what I was hoping to do here. I didn't want to make this guy. I didn't want to take his gun rights. I love guns. I think everybody should have more of them. And I offered him a pretty good deal. He would have had to do some counseling because I thought there was some room for improvement there. I even dropped his fine compared to what it normally would have been. I was like, look, we're going to lower the fine.
He was just
We're gonna-
adamant.
Wouldn't do it. Wouldn't take anything.
That's how they are sometimes.
That's how they
That's
are.
how our clients are, and
And
we just warn them.
Princey was on the other side, and he did a great job. I mean, with what he had to work with. I thought his arguments were perfectly reasonable. They were wrong, but according to my understanding of the facts and stuff, but it wasn't an unfair position to take, and it just shook out the way it did. And I didn't ask for any jail time. I could have asked him.
Wow,
impose
just
some jail time.
What a
had to talk about your win
reasonable
without letting her leave, huh?
No, I'm just saying. Like,
Well, I like that.
But I think baby prosecutor me would have wanted jail. You make me go to trial, and when I tried to help you,
Trial text.
It's not, I mean, it is, but it isn't. Because I didn't look at it that way, but it's like, all right, you don't want to take anything, well, you're going to learn a lesson. Because the reason that we're here is your ego or whatever, you really think you didn't do anything wrong, and you pushed your kid's mother to the ground, right? When you guys were doing a custody exchange, so your 2-year-old's in the car, right? And even if it's just a shove, and it was with his back, and I told the victim, I was like, look, we both know that on BAT DVs, you're down here. It's not over here where you broke your nose. And she's like, I know. And so I was like, I'm going to let you know that I'm going to do what I need to do, but I'm not going to do what I hope you want me to do. And she's like, I don't. I was like, I'm not ruining this dude's life. And she's like, good, I don't want you to. He's got a good job. He's not going to miss work. Everything's going to be fine, right? But baby prosecutor probably would have been like, well, you need to learn. We're going to teach you a different way.
Interesting.
And I didn't do that. So I think it makes me better. Anyway.
Have you ever had him on the show? Just as a
Justin on the show?
yeah, like as an interview.
Well, it used to just be me and Justin.
The next hour, we're going to switch roles.
We've loved
I've got a
having
question.
guests.
I got answers.
We're going to have you as a guest interviewer, is what
There you
you're
go.
saying. I love that.
Dude,
All right.
we could do that.
We could have that happen sometime.
Just run the podcast, but somebody else does it, so we get to go.
Oh, no, there's an idea.
I'll volunteer.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Thanks,
you
everybody.
know,
Thanks for having
no
me.
official judicial positions today because you are a hearing commissioner, already appointed on that. Thanks for being on. Thanks for having us. Vote
soon.
Catherine
Vote.
Wiersch.
Yep.
Is it Wiersch? Is I'm saying it right?
Yeah, you are.
June 9th.
Yeah. CatherineForJudge.com. It's with a C and the number 4.
We will put it in our links as
Yeah.
well. So,
And remember,
And-
not everybody can vote for me, but you can donate.
City of Henderson. All right.
And if you have Henderson friends but you can't vote there, tell them about her. Get them to look her up. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Peace.